Hello, this is Dr. Mrs. Jacinta Chioma Odichukwu, popularly known as Dr. Jaco. Today, I'm going to briefly teach you how to find research gap for your project, thesis, or dissertation. First of all, I encourage research students to use a research tool like Google Scholar. So let's take for instance that you have Google Scholar, open Google Scholar. Okay. Okay. Google Scholar has opened. So let's say we want to search a student is interested in working on a research in the area of AI, going specifically to an aspect of AI known as natural language processing. So what you need to do is to look at different application of natural language processing. In natural language processing, you have different areas you can apply the techniques, like the area of text summarization, machine translation, information retrieval. Let's say, for instance, you are interested in working on a research in the area of text summarization. The first thing you need to do is you have to look at what people have done in this area, text summarization. So what I usually do is that if you are doing a research this year, you want to look at, you go first for related work, related recent work. Let's look at what people have done in this area between 2020 to 2020. See what I did. I open Google Scholar, text summarization. I come to this custom range, type 2020 here to 2025 and click on search. So it will open recent work in this area, within this year. So we look at the first thing there is review of automatic text summarization techniques and methods. Somebody published an article in a series, Journal of King Saudi, on this area. Review of automatic text summarization techniques and method. This is a review paper. This paper reviews different techniques done in this different text summarization techniques and methods. So you might need this as part of we can just open it to know what they did by reading their abstracts. So first of all, if you look at this work here now, you might need a work as part of your introduction for the work you do. So text summarization automatically produces a summary containing important sentences, including all relevant information from the original document. One of the main approaches when viewed from the summary result are extractive and abstractive. In text summarization, we have extractive and abstractive. And extractive summary is heading towards maturity, and now research has shifted towards abstractive summarization and real-time summarization. Although there have been so many achievements in the acquisition of data sets, methods, and techniques published, there are no many papers that have provided a broad picture of current state of research in this field. So this is where they are stating their gap. Because in summary, you see the gap. So you see where they stated the gap. There are not many papers that can provide a broad picture of the current state of research in this field. So here we have seen the gap in this abstract, the gap that they saw that made them to, the gap that they discovered that led them to um, write this article. This paper provides a broad and systematic review of research in the field of text summarization, published from 2008 to 2019. So looking at this paper, it is a review paper. We have review paper, we have a technical paper. Review papers, you have to read a lot of literatures to find gap, publish it after you are using a systematic literature review or other review method. So you'll be able to find a lot of gap between a certain year so that the researchers can read it and pick something there. You can see that this one, they review different techniques and methods of text summarization. We also have technical paper. A researcher can come and read this paper and find out a gap from one of the literatures in this publication, then begin to develop a technical design or to get a result. From there, you now report that technical result and publish it also. Solve the problem, the gap that is found within this review paper, solve it, then and also publish it for researchers and the establishment or companies that might need that work. Say there are 85 journal and conference published, which are the result of extraction of selected studies for identification, analysis, to describe research topics or trends. Data sets preprocessing. So data sets preprocessing features, techniques, methods, evaluation, and problems in this field of research. Look at what they actually did. Say this paper provides a broad and systematic review of research in the field of text summarization, published from 2008 to 2019. There are 82 journals and conferences published, which are the result of extraction of uh, uh, the result of the extraction of selected studies for identification and analysis to describe research topics or trends, data set, preprocessing feature, techniques, methods, evaluations, and problems in this field of research. The result of the analysis provide an in-depth explanation of topics slash trends that are the focus of their research in the field of summarization. Provide references to public datasets, preprocessing, and features that have been used. Describe the techniques and methods that are often used by researchers as a comparison and means for developing methods. At the end of this paper, several recommendations for opportunities and challenges related to text summarization research are mentioned. So you can see it. So this summary has already told you the whole thing they did in this research. So when you are working on a paper, you want to find gap, what you need to do is to read the summaries, the abstract, because the abstract is the work they did. They will tell you the introduction of the work, the problem they solve, how they are able to solve, if there are techniques that are used to solve it, you see it. And even some paper, you can see that even at the towards the end of the abstract, they will tell you the gap. But whereby they didn't tell you the gap, you have to read part of the methodology discussion, suggestions on how option for suggestion for further study and conclusion. You usually find a gap in suggestion for further study or in a conclusion. And sometimes some people put their own in part of their result. So for this technical paper, in the review paper, you might wish to read the entire work to actually find out an aspect of technique you want to implement in your work, or if there is a gap that is stated here which has not been solved within this research period, you can pick it and start solving it. You might also want to use this as part of their literature review. We will come down, we are looking for research gap, how to find research gap. So if this paper is an open source, you might wish to go down to look at, these are the related methods. You see method, review method. So here you see that they give you a rundown of the method they use. The review research on text summarization was conducted with systematic literature review, SLR. So now we might not be interested in this. You start going down to check what they did. This is how they do their work. This is not what we are looking for. This is their results. So we check whether we see what we are looking for here. So if this paper is sometimes it's not really, sometimes if you are working on a project, I suggest that you go and review a technical paper. This is a review paper. We might not need this to use this to find a gap. So we go back. If at all this paper is what you need, you want to use it as part of your work, you just click on this site to take off the, you click on site to, okay, it has opened it. So when you click on site, you will see the different uh, referencing format. If you what you are using as project in our university photo, we accept APA format. So if you are a photo student, you have to select this APA format. It's already arranged for you. You copy it and drop it in the tool you are using to write your article. I use Overleaf. For those who are using Word, you can just copy it and put it in a reference section. If it's overleaf you are using, you have to click here and pick. You have to click here and pick the BIB uh, reference so that you can drop it in your overleaf. For instance, this is my overleaf document for a work I'm doing. When you click here, you see the .bib section where you will paste your reference. Network is a bit challenged. So you click here, pick, it will open the build test reference style. You click there and pick it. The big test reference style, you just pick it and paste it in your .bib part of your lattice or overleaf if it's what you are using. If what you are using is a Word, you just copy it here. So within the coding section, the test coding section of your overleaf, you have to use call it is upper format. So this is not a class for overleaf. So what you need to do now, you have to go down and look for a work in test summarization that is not a survey paper or review paper. Check if you can get a review paper. ChatGPT has a factual inconsistency evaluation for test summarization. So this work is done in 2023. Let's open it and see what they are telling us. So where I suggest you look for a technical paper when you are looking for research gap, you open a publication or an article or a paper that is a technical paper and see what they could not do in that technical paper.